daisyUI versus Tailwind UI versus this guy UI. Welcome back. We've finally finished all of our website. Our daisyUI website, our Tailwind UI website, and my website, which I made using my brain and TailwindCSS. And what a journey we've been on. Let's take a quick look at the highlights. Wow, that's just brilliant. Now our websites are all finished, it's time to analyze which is the best. Is daisyUI the best? Is Tailwind UI the best? Or am I the best? We're gonna rate each component based on how easy it was to make, how quickly I was able to make it, and how good it looks. We will of course be using the traditional merit rating system. Without any more waffle, let's get into it. The first website we built was with daisyUI. That was a long time ago now. First component we're gonna rate is the Navbar. Those of you with a good memory, or those of you that actually watched the video, will remember that I said I'm going to change this color scheme because I didn't use it for the other two videos. Now here's the thing, I really can't be bothered to do that, so let's just pretend that I did change it, and we're going to have to look past how bad this color scheme is and just pretend that it doesn't look crap. So with that in mind, this is quite a nice navbar. Very simple, very clean, very brown. It does the job, it's responsive. Ooh. It looks good. I have no criticisms. It was easy to build. I could build it very quickly and it looks good. So the daisyUI navbar gets a score of 6 ferrets. Wow, well done daisyUI, well done. The next website we built was Tailwind UI. Again, a very nice, clean, simple navbar. It is worth noting that I did edit this navbar because it had a little avatar in the top right corner. And I didn't want that. It wasn't really what we were looking for. Again, it looks very clean, very simple, very plain. It was very easy to build and very quick. And it looks fine. So this navbar gets a score of 7 ferrets. Well done. Well done, Tailwind UI. That's really good. Really, really good. Finally, we come on to the website that I built using my brain. Wow, how good is that? It looks decent. This navbar looks very similar to Tailwind UI navbar. It's very simple, very plain. They're virtually identical. It's not responsive because I completely forgot to actually do that. It was more difficult to build because I had to actually do it myself rather than copy and paste. It took longer to build because it wasn't just a case of copying and pasting. It looks basically the same. So for that reason, it gets a score of 6 ferrets. Well done me, well done, thank you very much. Moving on, hero section, daisyUI. This is a pleasant looking hero section. It was ridiculously easy to make and very quick. Copied, pasted, changed the text. Color scheme is terrible. That's on me, remember? So let's just ignore that. Very simple looking. So it gets a respectable 6 ferrets. Well done daisyUI, very impressive. Tailwind UI. This hero is very similar to the daisyUI one. It has this strange cloud gradient effect in the background, which is nice if you want that to be the theme for your entire website. It was quick to do, it was copy and paste, it was easy, and it looks very clean, virtually identical to daisyUI. I did make some slight amendments to it. For that reason, it took me slightly longer, but that's not the fault of Tailwind UI. That was just because I wanted to make them all have the same content. So it gets a score of 6 ferrets. Well done, Tailwind UI. Very respectable score, that, very respectable. Our final hero is the one built using my brain. This obviously took longer to do than the others because I had to code it myself. It was relatively easy to do because it's not exactly that difficult or complicated. Looks-wise, it's very simple. It basically looks like a combination of daisyUI and Tailwind UI. So for that reason, it gets a score of 6 ferrets. Well done, my brain. Next component. The next component is the about section. We're going to discard this component completely. Discard. Reason being, I had to make it for daisyUI because there isn't a component that does exactly what I wanted. Same situation for Tailwind UI. This is a header component and I adapted it. And for the one I made using my brain, obviously I have nothing to compare it to. So we're gonna skip that section, but I like to think that the one built with my brain is the best one. So well done me. The next section is the blog section. daisyUI, very simple. I had to actually use the card component from daisyUI to build this. So it was a little bit more involved build than I would have liked. I had to create a grid and then put the cards in the grid. It was still relatively easy to do, but because I had to actually do that myself, it took a little bit longer than I would have liked. It looks okay. It looks very clean, very neat. So for that reason, it gets a score of 5 ferrets. Not great, not great. Tailwind UI. Now this is a blog section from Tailwind UI. They actually have specific components for these blog sections, which made me think, this is going to be a lot better. And it was a lot quicker to build than daisyUI. So it gets points for speed. Again, but ease of use, very easy. It was just copy and paste. Now I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but I think in terms of looks, I don't think this particular component looks that great. Now that could be because I haven't used enough text. I think if I did use a bit more text, it would look better, but I can only score it based on what's here. So Tailwind UI blog component gets a score of 3 ferrets. Ooh. Moving on to the blog component built using my brain. I must say, I am impressed. I am quite impressed with this one. It looks very clean indeed. Was it quick to build? Not particularly. Was it easy to build? I mean, it wasn't difficult, and it looks pretty good. So I think on the balance of things, when you weigh up how easy and quick it was to build versus how good it looks, I think those two things kind of even themselves out. So I'm gonna have to give it a score of 5.5 ferrets. Ooh. Pretty good, pretty good. Onto the contact section. Now, this one might be a bit controversial because I didn't copy and paste an entire contact section from daisyUI because it doesn't exist. I had to build this using the text input components. So I don't know if we can really class this as a daisyUI component. Also, it just looks awful. And I think part of the problem is the color scheme is just so bad that it's hard to look past. So we're struggling a little bit here, but it does still need a score. So in terms of how easy it was to build, it was relatively easy. It's just inputs in a grid. The time taken to build, it obviously took longer than if I could copy an entire contact component and paste it in pre-built. This obviously took longer to build than if I could do that. So it doesn't score highly there. Looks wise, it looks awful. That's not the fault of daisyUI. That is my fault because I essentially built this. However, we can only go on what's in front of us. So this contact section from daisyUI, aka from me, gets a score of 3 ferrets. Ooh, not good. Not good. Moving on, Tailwind UI. Now, this contact section was copied and pasted completely from Tailwind UI. I didn't have to change much. I changed the inputs, removed some inputs, changed the names of them. But other than that, I didn't have to do anything. So in terms of speed, really quick. In terms of ease, really easy. In terms of looks and style, it looks fine. Plain, simple, it does the job. Let's just get on with it. It gets a score of 7 ferrets. Very good, very good. Now the contact section built with my brain. I must say, I'm impressed. This looks good, very good indeed. It took longer to build than Tailwind UI, but was actually quicker to build than daisyUI. Interesting. In terms of ease, this was actually also easier to build than the daisyUI one. It was not easier to build than Tailwind UI for obvious reasons. And in terms of style, I think it actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to say it looks the best out of all 3. Well done, brain. So based on that, I'm gonna have to give it a score of 9 ferrets. Oh, that's the highest score of the day. Wow, wow. Who saw this coming? I certainly did not. On to the final component, the footer component, daisyUI. Very easy, very quick, very clean looking. I'm not gonna mess around here. It gets a score of 7 ferrets. Tailwind UI, same story really. Very easy, very quick. I think I had to delete some things. That's not a criticism. This footer too gets a score of 7 ferrets. And now the footer built using my brain. Very easy to do, very quick to do. It wasn't as quick to build as daisyUI and Tailwind UI, but still, we're talking a matter of minutes. Looks wise, it's just a line of text with a background. I'm gonna have to give it a score of 6 ferrets. Not bad. Respectable. Very respectable. So that concludes the scoring of all 3 websites. Wow, how exciting was that? I have had a great time. Let's have a look at the overall scores. There you have it. Well done, brain. You are the winner. Wow, that's just great.